mark the formal opening of this course legal year, and then we celebrate the appointment and swearing in of Honorable Justice Kudirat Motomori Olatokunbo Kekere-Ekun CFR as the 19th Indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria, the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria, and indeed the second female Chief Justice of Nigeria. I therefore at this point congratulate your Lordship on your appointment and swearing in as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. From the answers your Lordship gave at the Senate confirmation hearing, we believe that efficiency, transparency, and accountability will be your watchword. The NBA believes that in title alone, your Lordship will be called Chief Justice of Nigeria, but in nature, conviction, vision, practice, and action, you will remain a reliable jurist and a friend to professional colleagues, regardless of status, age, niche, or origin. I believe you improve the standing of the Nigerian judiciary, proactively address issues affecting administration of justice, enthrone the appointment of judicial officers devoid of influence by politics, personal relations, connections, or status, and fashion ways to promote the protection of the rule of law. The opening of the legal year is a time for reflection, renewal, and rededication to the values of justice, fairness, and the rule of law. It provides an opportunity to acknowledge the work done by the judiciary in the past year, while also looking forward to the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. The opening of the legal year is consequently more than a ceremonial occasion. It is a moment when we, as officers of the law, pause to reaffirm our dedication to upholding justice, ensuring the rule of law, and protecting the rights and freedoms of Nigerians. The judiciary is, after all, the bedrock of our democracy, and it is through the work that your lordships do here and the lawyers who appear before you contribute in doing that justice finds expression in the everyday lives of our citizens. The legal year ceremony is coming at a time when, to borrow the words of a past Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Dahiru Mustafa, blessed memory, as it stands today, it appears that the society is not entirely satisfied with the performance of the judiciary. One may wonder why we should bother about the public perception of what our courts decide. Some may insist that public opinion is inconsequential and that the courts or the legal profession should not be bothered about what the public think or make of court judgments. Supporters of this viewpoint remind us that the law is what the courts say it is. Persons who subscribe to this school of thought argue that the law is not what the status books say it is, but the law is what the judges say in their judgments that the law is. Those who demur insist that perception is stronger than reality. And we use an anecdote to help drive home the point that we should not pretend that perception should be ignored. The illustration goes thus. Several years after leaving secondary school, a man met one of his schoolmates and could not believe his eyes. His friend was driving a brand new shiny sport utility vehicle. The man went home feeling he had failed. He was very disappointed in himself. He thought he was a failure. Unknown to him, his schoolmate was a driver and had been sent on an errand with his boss's car. He had been fooled by his perception that his friend was the owner of the vehicle. This story reminds one of what an anonymous writer once said, that with reality, there is not much room to maneuver. With perception, we can exaggerate or modify according to the need. Perception is therefore of utmost importance as much as reality. While we must ultimately be concerned with reality, we should not feign indifference to how we or actions are perceived by others, especially the public. We believe this is of utmost importance in the administration of justice. In this instance, the perception of the public about decisions from electoral cases. As stated by Lord Hewart in R and Success Justices ex parte McCarthy, citation supplied, where he observed that what was important was not what was actually done, but what might appear to have been done, and he held, nothing is to be done which creates even a suspicion that there has been an improper interference with the course of justice. Problems arise when people's expectations are not met by court decisions, or when they go away, not believing that decisions of courts are either justified or correct. It is equally worse when people believe that court judgments are bereft of justice. Having made this point about the imperativeness of not ignoring public perceptions about decisions of our courts, I must remind us that there is a growing perception by more Nigerians that judicial officers are oftentimes appointed without regard to merit, that our courts do not give justice, that our courts waste a lot of time, that are corrupt or do not protect the indigent, as the rights and interests of the citizens are oftentimes not prioritized. The negative perception about judicial decisions appears to be highest, like I've noted earlier, with regard to judicial decisions in electoral cases. I therefore agree with late Honorable Justice Dahiru Mustafa when he further said that hard as it may be to accept, we feel it is less important to focus on whether this assessment is fair or not. The important thing is for us to transparently come to terms with the prevailing realities, accept the gap in expectations, and do our utmost best to bridge it. Notwithstanding a negative perception, I must admit that our courts have done creditably well, but we go further to admit that a lot more could still be done. This is because no matter how good anything or situation is, there is always room for improvement. A revered past president of the NBA, J.B. Daud-Resen, who incidentally is in court here today, once said that the judiciary has had its share of the good, bad, and ugly, but it still remains the last hope of the common man. The judiciary is a gum that binds society to prevent a situation where every family or street will have a warlord whose sense of justice is determined by his temperament. The judiciary must be alert and proactive in ideas and actions, unquote. As we take a moment to look back on the previous year, it is important to acknowledge the remarkable resilience and unwavering commitment displayed by the judiciary in the face of numerous challenges. Our courts have demonstrated unwavering dedication in adjudicating cases vital to the stability and progress of our nation. I pause to note the local government autonomy case decided by this court, which the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation had referred to earlier in his speech. However, it is crucial to address the significant difficulties that continue to hinder the administration of justice in Nigeria. One of the most pressing concerns is the persistent issue of delays in justice delivery. For many years, the process of justice has been arduous and protracted. These delays, often attributed to overburdened court system, procedural bottlenecks, and insufficient resources, erode public trust in the judiciary. As we embark on this new legal year, it is imperative that we collectively renew our commitment to addressing these inefficiencies. It is unacceptable that many Nigerians, particularly those from rural or marginalized communities, are unable to access the justice system due to geographical, financial, or procedural barriers. Former Chief Justice Mohammed Lawal once remarked, for a judiciary to function effectively, it must have the trust and confidence of the people. But trust in the judiciary is only possible when people believe that justice is accessible and attainable. We must therefore explore innovative solutions to make justice more affordable and accessible, such as the greater use of alternative dispute resolution. I'm also glad to note that Your Lordship, the new CGN, had promised to make this work. We also ensure that we digitize our court processes. Another pressing area of reform is a reduction in the backlog of fake cases. The reality is that our courts are overwhelmed by the sheer volume of cases, leading to significant delays in justice delivery. As a nation, we must embrace the modernization of our court system, including the use of technology to expedite case management and reduce unnecessary delays. We must also reduce the number and types of appeals that come to these honorable courts. At the bar, we shall advocate for computerization of litigation process, including recording of court proceedings in all superior courts of record. We will also propose judicial reform in the following areas: case management and scheduling with time slots, notification to lawyers of adjournments, enforcement of the use of NBA email address in the filing of all process, and customized email address for all courts to ease communications to counsel and litigants who appear before the courts. It is our expectation that under your Lordship's leadership of the NJC, National Judicial Council that is, NBA shall work with the NJC and various heads of court to ensure effective utilization of the legal mail project initiated by the NJC, as well as work for the commencement of electronic filing and payment platforms for all superior and appellate courts in Nigeria to end the unnecessary costs, delays, and inefficiencies encountered in filing processes in our courts. We also hope that such collaboration will lead to amendment of various laws and rules of court to accommodate electronic methods in conducting activities in courts, filing and service of processes, as well as hearing of matters and applications. I am told that a lot can be learned from South Korea and other developed countries which have fully embraced the electronic method. We know that the Supreme Court Rules 2024, which has consolidated all relevant rules and practice directions into a single accessible body of rules for the court and legal practitioners, has blazed the trail in this regard. My lords, we also hope that your Lordship's leadership of the NJC will ensure that the chief judges of the states and the FCT make sure that all police stations and other detention detention facilities in each state of the Federation and the FCT are visited and inspected by magistrates and judges once a month, in accordance with the provisions of the Admission of Criminal Justice Act and laws. We also hope that the number of inmates in our correctional facilities, which was recently put at about 73% of the total prison population, will be greatly reduced if the abuse of holding charge is addressed. We urge the NJC to work with heads of courts to ensure that no court, and we emphasize no court, makes a remand order without taking steps to ensure that a charge is filed against a person against whom such an order is made, and that such a court makes an order for periodic review of the remand order to know whether there is need for the continued retention of the order, or whether the court should make an order that such a person be admitted to bail or charged to court within a specified period of time. The courts no doubt have a role to play in making sure that no person who has no reason to be in detention is incarcerated. It is believed that thousands of citizens are suffering in unlawful custody in many detention facilities and centers in all states of the Federation. We all therefore have a crucial role to play in monitoring and ensuring that the requisite authorities carry out their statutory duties of inspecting police stations and other detention facilities in various states of Nigeria and the FCT. May I digress to humbly request the Chief Justice of Nigeria as the Chairman of the NJC to take steps to end the current trend of making the swearing in of judicial officers a huge fanfare filled with pomp and ceremony. We are of the view that the overly lavish ceremonies we now see being organized by such newly sworn judicial officers is robbing the offices they occupy of the solemnity and discreet nature they deserve. Both the swearing in and celebrations should be private, while receptions should be court-sponsored luncheons for the newly sworn judicial officers. May I pause to note that it also unduly exposes newly sworn judicial officers to politically exposed persons, and I wish that your Lordship would consider making a practice direction or some direction to judicial officers in this regard. The Judiciary must show a reluctance to mimic the public exhibition of affluence and public celebrations. Having said these few words, I will now congratulate the new senior advocates of Nigeria. I need not remind us that conferment of the rank of senior advocate of Nigeria is a recognition of your outstanding merit and excellence in the legal profession. The rank is not given lightly. It is earned through years of hard work, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to the practice of law. The rank of senior advocate of Nigeria is more than a title. It is a call to serve as a leader within the legal profession. As senior advocates, you are now the custodians of justice. You bear the responsibility of upholding the highest standards of legal practice, ethics, and integrity. It is crucial to recognize the importance of mentorship within the profession. Your role is not confined to personal excellence. You are now expected to mentor younger lawyers, inspire them through your example, and champion the cause of justice both in and out of the courtroom. The younger lawyers look up to senior lawyers and senior advocates for guidance and must provide that leadership. In this new chapter of your professional life, I encourage you to invest in the growth and development of junior lawyers. And I'm glad that my Lord, the CJN, has mentioned it. We must make sure that we pay the younger ones who work with us well and treat them well too. Through your mentorship, you can help shape the future of the legal profession, ensuring that it remains vibrant, ethical, responsible, and responsive to the needs of the society. The prestige of the SN title places you at the forefront of the legal profession. With the privilege comes a greater duty to safeguard the sanctity of our legal system. In a world where challenges to justice and equity are ever present, your voice must be heard in the pursuit of legal reforms and social justice. You have the power to influence policy, advance legal thought, and lead the charge for greater accountability in governance. You must lead by example. I therefore urge you to seize this opportunity to contribute much more meaningfully to the development of our nation. As we gather here today in this solemn ceremony, we therefore recognize the achievements of those who have shown exceptional skill in advocacy and exemplary professionalism. By joining the inner bar, you have been acknowledged not only for your success in the courtroom, but for your service to the legal community and society at large. But as with all great honors, this achievement comes with heightened responsibility. Today marks not just the recognition of your past efforts, but beginning of a new journey that calls for even greater commitment to the rule of law and the administration of justice. We will not end this without calling for a review of the guidelines for the conferment of the rank of senior advocates. As it would appear, the current guidelines precludes academics who teach in the Nigerian law school from applying for and obtaining SEM. They are not professors, they don't supervise projects, so they can't be considered as academics. The possibility of considering the number of academics who are equally awarded the rank to about 3 should be considered. We also suggest that the Legal Practitioner Disciplinary Committee Rules 2020 should be amended not only to speed up the disciplinary process, but also ensure that the Legal Practitioner Disciplinary Committee focuses only on adjudication and not combine same with investigating and determining whether a prima facie case has been made out before a respondent is called upon to respond to a petition. NBA is ready to work with the body of benchers and the Chief Justice of Nigeria to amend the LPDC rules to particularly fully restore the role and powers of the NBA in the investigation of complaints or professional misconduct against legal practitioners, as well as prosecution of matters before the LPDC. Finally, I know that as lawyers, we have a duty to support the judiciary in the delivery of justice. This requires that we approach our work with diligence, integrity, and respect for the court's processes. The NBA is fully committed to collaborating with the judiciary to address these challenges, whether through advocating for judicial reforms, promoting continuing legal education, or enhancing access to justice. The NBA remains a steadfast partner in the advancement of the rule of law. As we look forward to this new legal year, let us do so with a renewed sense of purpose and responsibility. We must confront the challenges before us with courage and determination, and always keep in mind the words of late Justice Taslim Elias, that justice is greatest concern of man on earth. The legal profession has a unique role to play in shaping the future of Nigeria. We are custodians of the law, and it is through our collective efforts that we can build a justice system that is fair, efficient, and accessible to all Nigerians. We must therefore dedicate ourselves to the cause of justice, as we have an enormous responsibility to uphold the rule of law and ensure that our judiciary remains the last hope of the common man.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.